I'd like to propose something. Here it is. Before we make a decision to either rescue the planet or let it perish, let's take a moment to reflect in silence. I'm not referring to the somber silence we observe when we learn of a notable person's death, where we silently pay respects while everyone appears solemn and ponders deeply. That kind of silence isn't true silence at all. I'm talking about genuine silence, where we cease our thoughts and perceive the world just as it is. After all, if I'm always speaking, I can't listen to what others have to say. And if I'm constantly thinking, which essentially means having an internal monologue within my head, then I'm only contemplating thoughts, and thus, I never truly connect with the tangible world. Now, what is this tangible world? Some believe the tangible world is made of matter or is physical. I suggest it's composed of a sort of substance. Others believe it's spiritual or mental, but I wish to clarify that both these ideas are merely concepts, constructed from words, and the tangible world isn't an idea. It isn't composed of words. Reality is. Thus, if you align with reality, many delusions will vanish, and I will discuss several of these illusions that lack any real existence. Let's start with some very basic examples, like money. Money is an effective accounting tool, a measure of wealth just as inches are for length and grams for weight. You can't consume money. You might possess an immense amount of cash and stocks, but they would be worthless on a deserted island. What you would require are food, animals, and company. Money merely symbolizes wealth much as a menu represents the meal. Yet, we are psychologically twisted in such a way that some of us prefer money over true wealth. But remember, you can't drive 5 cars at once, nor live in 6 homes or eat 12 beef roasts in one sitting. There's a limit to consumption, and that's the type of confusion I'm discussing. Another confusion is mixing up our living selves with our conceptual selves, known as the personality or ego. This is what we've been led to believe we are, a very simplistic and inadequate idea of ourselves. And we become unhappy as we contemplate this version of ourselves and think, oh no, I'm going to die. I once spoke with a woman who confessed she was scared of death, and after a long discussion, I asked what exactly she feared. After much thought, she realized what truly frightened her was what others would say, lamenting, "Poor old Gert, she just couldn't make it." Because you see, your identity is shaped entirely by what others have told you about yourself. And you are not merely that. Another factor troubling us is time. Most claim they have no time, which is true, because they're not present in the moment. You know, the present is shown on your watch as a thin line, as narrow as can be, leading everyone to think the present is something to get past, but the present is the only real time. There's no past, nor is there a future, and it never will be. Typically, we view the present as a mere speck where the future transitions into the past. Additionally, we commit a grave error by perceiving ourselves as products of the past, consistently shifting blame. This is akin to the biblical story where God confronts Adam in the Garden of Eden, inquiring if he has eaten from the forbidden tree. Adam responds by blaming the woman you placed with me. She tempted me, and so I ate. Then God questions Eve, who blames the serpent, saying it deceived her, leading her to eat the fruit. Observing this, God looks towards the serpent, who remains silent. This illustrates our perpetual tendency to shift responsibility. You may not acknowledge that the past is shaped by what is occurring in the present, much like the trail a ship leaves in the water. The trail doesn't propel the ship any more than a tail wags a dog, yet we continuously find excuses. For instance, blaming upbringing issues like, "My mother was stressed during her pregnancy with me. They claim they didn't raise me properly." Then those accusations get passed back to the previous generation, perpetuating the cycle of blame. However, the reality is, everything starts here, right now. This moment is the origin of creation, and you're the creator, though you may deny it, just as they denied Jesus, who was crucified for revealing this truth. Understanding this can be challenging, especially in Western cultures where there's a strong emphasis on the future. We often dismiss ideas by stating they lack a future. But truly, it's more beneficial to embrace the present, because without it, planning becomes futile. If your plans do succeed, you won't be present to enjoy them. You'll be preoccupied with other thoughts. Hence, we realize we need to live in the now and let go of the past.